Not yet. Good morning. Let me just make sure. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us today. We are joined by several elected officials. I'm going to start calling their names. First, Erie County Legislator Lawrence Dupree, City of Buffalo Common Council President Pro Temp Brian Bowman, New York State Assembly Majority Leader Crystal People Stokes, we're also joined by City of Buffalo Council Member and Majority Leader Lear Holton Pope, New York State Senator Patrick Gallivan, New York State Assembly Member Monica Wallace, New York State Assembly Member Bill Conrad, City of Buffalo Mayor Chris Scanlon, and from Roswell, Christopher Volgesang. Please welcome Roswell President and CEO, Dr. Candace Johnson. And now, if you're able, please stand and give a warm Roswell Park welcome to the 57th governor of the great state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul.
I love this stuff. So I welcome you all, a warm Buffalo welcome. It's not as cold maybe as it was yesterday, but still it is winter here in Buffalo. It's a new day in the fight against cancer. The news that brings us together today is more than a decade in the making, a milestone moment for Roswell Park and New York State and actually the world. We're joined by one of Roswell Park's biggest champions, Governor Kathy Hochul. I've known Kathy for a long time, long before we were in these leadership roles. We've always had a very close relationship. We've shared many sort of milestones of our own, some personal, some not. And I'm just so thrilled to be here with you today. So thank you for everything that you do. Today's announcement continues the momentum of New York State's innovation economy. It's a huge milestone in making sure that New Yorkers can access the very best cancer care here right at home in little old Western New York, Buffalo, New York. Thanks to Governor Hochul's deep engagement and an outstanding support from Empire State Development Team, we put together a grant application to New York State for these innovative steps. And this is for us to be able to really take care of the sickest patients. What we're doing here today is so exciting. You're gonna hear a lot of stuff, and, hopefully you can share with us. Um, this has resulted in the advanced space of its kind for any academic institution in America. We set out to build something unique among centers like Roswell Park. This could only probably happen in an NCI designated center, one which, if you've watched the news, we were exceptional. Just had to throw that in. But we realized that this vision would not be complete of a champion like Governor Kathy Hochul and the Empire State Development. They really have worked tirelessly with this. Well, I don't know where you went, but thank you. You've been huge in this effort as well. We really appreciate your support. And so with that, I'm delighted to introduce our champion for cancer patients everywhere, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Wow. What a great day for Buffalo. I'm not just talking about the game. As long as we're talking about the game, how extraordinary was that? It just felt so Buffalo. Everybody was so excited and energetic, and to just run up the score like that. I'm not going to go through all of it, but thank you, Josh Allen, for being the for for our MVP, soon to be the nation's MVP of football this year and for many years to come. Because you lift our spirits. And as we think about this holiday time and find ourselves at Roswell, something else we are so proud of, in addition to Buffalo Bills, we're so proud of Roswell. It also shaped our identity. People think of us for many, many reasons. And one is that we have exceptional cancer care in an institution that really punches above its weight for a community of our size to offer what Roswell offers, but not just in the past and present, but their forward-looking leadership, embracing new technologies. This is what I find so exciting. And the leader of those efforts is Candace Johnson. And I want to thank you. It is not an easy job to be where you are. You have stepped up, you have excelled, and I thank you. Thank you for your commitment as well. Almost 2 years ago, I stood before the legislature, and many of them are here with me today. And I want to give a special shout out to um, my friends, my Western New York team, my own. I'm not to say I'm Josh Allen. I'll never say that. But these are the people that support me so intensely when we go to Albany and have to fight for projects that affect Western New York. And the leader of that team is none other than the majority leader of the New York State Assembly, Crystal Peoples Stokes. Thank you. Uh, Without her voice, I could assure you that over many, many years of her service, we would not have had the major projects and the dollars delivered to this region. So she is exceptional. She'll always be at my side as we go forward. Also, Senator Pat Galvin has joined us. Great to see you. And happy holidays to you and your family. Assembly Member Bill Conrad, the same to you. Thank you for your support. Assembly Member Monica Wallace, extraordinary leader. We look forward to her next chapter. It's great to see Buffalo Mayor Chris Scanlon, and congratulations on the snow removal. Okay, because it can go either way. You know this. So thank you to all of our local elected officials, and we're going to be introducing Chris Vogelsang and thanking him for sharing his story in a few moments. But when I stood before the legislature, which is the State of the State address, which I'm actually working on now for January, I made a commitment to the people of the state. I said we would strive to do what others before had believed was impossible, that we could actually heal the sick and create a world where there's less pain and suffering. And in the process, we could create jobs, foster a whole new innovative industry that would revitalize local economies across our state, but particularly here in Western New York. And my friends at Roswell and across this community know I keep my word. I said we would do this. So today we open a $98 million Roswell Park Cell and Gene Therapy Center, supported by $30 million from the state of New York. That's what a commitment's all about. And we're not just radically changing health outcomes for decades to come. We're ensuring that Buffalo and Western New York will always be known at the cutting edge of this as the hub of life-saving research. And cell and gene therapy sounds a little futuristic, maybe kind of Star Trek or something, but the possibilities it holds, it's not science fiction. It's reality. It's happening. And CGT is one of the fastest growing treatment tools in our medical field today. And it has unlimited potential for changing the outcomes for individuals diagnosed with cancer and rare diseases. And with this, the cells are growing outside the body. This is fascinating to me. Or genes are introduced that eradicate harmful mutations. Then they're fine-tuned in the lab and reintroduced to the patient, and they quickly go to work. It's brilliant. And I thank all the doctors and the medical teams who are the brilliant minds behind this. It's happening right here. It's so amazing to me. And the doctors call this a paradigm shift. And the applications are nearly unlimited. And we're already seeing positive results as we treat not just cancer, but ALS and Parkinson's, heart disease, MS, and so many more. This scientific revolution is changing lives already and holds deep personal meaning to me. Those of you who know me growing up here in Western New York, knew my parents, my mother, a real leader. She was one of the first voices back in the 70s to stand up for victims of domestic violence. She helped start Haven House. She was a counselor for families and people, and used to take us as kids to the Neighborhood Information Center on Sycamore. She helped start with Sister Desposada. Those who remember this story, helping people in need, senior citizens, people of all backgrounds who are falling on hard times. We used to do the Perry Street projects as a kid. We'd be going up the stairs with lots of food for people and help. Now, we didn't have a whole lot ourselves. We were shopping at used clothing stores. We were buying discount groceries. But my mom knew there were people who needed more. And I want you to know she instilled those values in me that are still with me today. And when my mother got the diagnosis of ALS, for someone who used her voice for others and to lose her own voice was rather tragic. But she always pointed to the sign on her refrigerator that she lived her life by, where she used to say, "Go into the world and do well. More importantly, go into the world and do good." I try to live mom's story, the lesson she taught me every single day. And I only wish that we could have had therapies like this. 'Cause I lost her right before I became lieutenant governor, and I miss her every single day. And so many other families have similar stories. I'm not unique. I'm not the only one. I know that. But I'm so committed to this. And in ALS, last year we committed $25 million, first time ever, to fund ALS research. And that was an effort that was helped partnered by one of the great innovators and builders in New York City, Dr. Dan Doctoroff. Look up his name. Many, many significant projects associated with him. And since his diagnosis, he became a champion for ALS. It's also another reason why I just spoke to beloved former Congressman Jack Quinn on Friday about Parkinson's and how I signed the Parkinson's registry bill that he championed along with Michael J. Fox Foundation. These are all personal reasons to me on why we have to keep fighting harder. And patients who have this diagnosis, they and their families want to know one thing. Everybody in the whole system, from their state government to the institution that's giving them their care, places like Roswell, all the advocates, all of them are fighting and fully committed, working nonstop toward treatments and cures. And I will say this again, first governor from Buffalo since Grover Cleveland. I'm actually told he's from New Jersey, and that's where he's buried. Okay. So I might just be Buffalo's only governor, okay? But because of that, I know what Roswell means to this community. This is just not the name of another institution. We have thousands of institutions. Yes, they're all important, but I know what Roswell means because my friends and their lives have been saved by Roswell. So I come here. I didn't want to miss this event. Heading to Albany momentarily, but I said I have to be here to tell this community what you already know. But as your governor, I can sing your praises all over the state because I know what goes on here. I know how you keep people alive and you do everything you can. What a dedicated staff you have here. These are God's angels on earth, and I thank all of you. I thank all of you. And I knew when we came forth with our $620 million to our life science initiative that I wanted to make sure that Roswell was part of this. And I'm going to continue. And this continues our investment. We're not done yet. Don't keep asking for money every day. Uh, uh, but it's not just success by a building, place. Success is measured by more grandkids getting to know grandma and grandpa. Its success is more holiday tables that are not empty but full, and more families, fewer families that know the loss of the most beloved person in their life. We can stop that. This is how we do it. And I'm so grateful to the Roswell family and to Western New York for support and the philanthropy and all the people who believe in this. Because I'm a Buffalo Bills backer and I'm a Roswell backer, and I always will be. So thank you. Thank you so much. And I want you to also meet an individual, the face of what I'm talking about. We're not talking in hypotheticals. Real people's lives are being changed and lengthened, and they're healed. And Christopher Vogelsang is one of those stories. He knows the work that's being done here. He is my friend. I have a powerful story to share with you that I want you to take pride in, all of you. And know that when Christopher was diagnosed with lymphoma back in 2008, a long time ago, he underwent cell therapy here at Roswell. I'm so proud to say that Christopher is in remission, and he's here to tell us his story. And let's give Christopher a warm welcome and tell him, let the world see the faces of those whose lives have been prolonged, lengthened, and enriched because of Roswell. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you to you and your family. Let's welcome up.
Find my notes. They hit it finally. They really hit it on me. No. I'm sorry. I thought mine was here. That's it. That's it.
There you go.
Great. Thank you. No bills. That's always helps lighten up the room. Good morning. I'm Chris Vogelsang. I am a cancer survivor twice. It is an honor to participate in this event, which highlights the groundbreaking cancer care for patients, especially for Roswell's commitment to the research and further development of CAR T cancer care. Over the past year, I was featured in a donor dollar newsletter and then interviewed by Adam Benini prior to the ride for Roswell. I guess I've become the poster boy for CAR T. I'm here today to share my journey and express my gratitude for the life-saving work being done at Roswell. Everyone who goes through their cancer journey has a unique story. Mine is just one of many, as the governor mentioned. In 2008, I had a routine blood check and enlarged spleen. After an exam, my doctor said simply, "I think you have cancer." I was 54 at the time. I'd grown up in great health, played lots of sports, took care of myself, and hadn't had so much as a cold in years. It was a real gut punch. I came to Roswell in 2009 and had a stem cell transplant, which was completed in the spring of 2010. Compounding my situation during this time was that my late wife had started her treatment with the return of metastatic breast cancer. It was a tough year. Thankfully, we both had family and friends who supported us. However, in the spring of 2010, Charlotte passed away after her long battle. She never gave up. Later that year, I met Karen, but I wasn't ready to start dating. But for some reason, she was on my mind, as if maybe we or both of us are being guided to new chapters in our life. Fast forward to 2019 when a test revealed my lymphoma had returned. I started on a chemo pill as a bridge treatment, which effectively and luckily cut off a need for treatment for 3.5 years, just the amount of time for CAR T to arrive at Roswell. In 2022, when we met with Dr. Hernandez, he indicated I could have a second cell transplant or CAR T. I asked which offered the best quality of life, and he answered immediately, CAR T. After I completed the CAR T transplant, it took some time to regain my strength and weight. Today, I'm active with golf, tennis, walking, and back to a normal and very busy life. I don't think I can fully express my appreciation for Roswell, the doctors, PAs, nurses, phlebotomists, and everyone here. I mean, everyone who for their care and treatment, which has brought me to this point in my life. During my first transplant, way back in '09, the nurses talked about patients who look at their transplant as new life or a birthday event. And with my transplants, I had to go through a series of vaccinations as if I were a newborn. I couldn't have gone through the rigors of my first transplant without the support of my first wife, Charlotte, nor could I have come through the second one without the support of my beautiful wife, Karen. I'm lucky to say, in all sincerity, I was married to the love of my first life, and now I'm married to the love of my second life. I took the shortcut to grandchildren. We now have 9 with 1 on the way. It's special when both of our families adore each other for their new and extended families. Wonderful. And I believe having a child with Down syndrome has put many things in perspective for me and for our families. We're truly blessed. I am incredibly grateful for Roswell and for the science of CAR T, and I am living proof that the work being done here changes lives. This is an exciting time with science moving so quickly and an exciting time for Roswell in committing to the future of CAR T. Thank you, Roswell, all of you. I'd now like to invite the Governor Hochul and Dr. Johnson, and to, of course, Karen, to stand with me as I ring the bell.
Please remain seated for the ringing of the bell.
Anybody wants to help ring the bell? Chris, when you're ready. Couple times, just to see how loud it is. Do I hear everybody? Thank you. Couple more.
Thank you.
Dr. Johnson. So, the path today, we're going to continue. The governor has to get back to Albany, but we're about to talk. I'm going to introduce some folks up here who are really gonna give you more insight into this. So this path started about 15 years ago when we were envisioning our first room clean room. Dr. Chris Choi was here to help us on that journey. And we really set the stage back in those days. This was 15 years ago. Many would say we really were visionary because of what we wanted to do. But we proudly celebrate today the opening of the nation's largest academic facility dedicated to making cell and gene cancer therapies more accessible for cancer patients, for researchers, and for companies working to advance the next generation of cancer therapies. Gene and cell therapies are redefining expectations about what's possible for cancer treatment. And it's through the support of Governor Hochul and the Empire State Development that we can eagerly look to the future, hopefully to treat these hard to treat cancers in the future. To get there, we need to have incredible facilities and the right team. When you're recruiting medicine, use Buffalo Bill's analogy, I mean, we're a team. Teams, what do teams do? They work together because we're always better as a team than we are individuals. And building a team takes time. I knew who I wanted for our team, and I wanted Rainier Brenchins. He was at Memorial Sloan Kettering. He was looking for a job. But I was tenacious, and I did not give up. I knew that we needed him, and we needed him because, and I know he probably gets tired of hearing this. It's like our Josh. You recruit someone like Rainier Brenchins, and then other people are gonna wanna come and work here. Other people are gonna be a part of it. He really did have the right vision. We started sort of our recruitment during, COVID. His first dinner here, we were sitting at a solo table at Oliver's with nobody around us. Remember those days? We never go back there. But, and I finally convinced him, "You can do something better here than you can at Memorial Sloan Kettering." And he agrees, and I think, he says this over and over again. His influence and accomplishment in this field of cell therapy are so noteworthy that he's a recipient this fall of the prestigious Albert Award, shared among the 4 pioneers who originated CAR T cell therapy, and demonstrated its remarkable life-saving potential with stunning paradigm-shifting clinical trials. He's just the quarterback of the program that we needed, and because of his leaderships and accomplishments, we've been able to attract an all-star team. Chris, Dr. Choi left after he was here and helped us start the facility, but we got him back. So, yes. So I'm delighted to call to the podium my friend and colleague, Dr. Rainier Brenchins.
So I would like to dispel one misconception that I chose the job here because of Josh Allen. I actually chose the job because Candace was indeed extremely tenacious, and it was striking for me to come to Buffalo, where I grew up, and to actually always ask that question: Can I do more here? Can I do as much here as I can do in New York City? And for the first time ever, over 20 years, the answer was yes. The infrastructure that Candace has built at this institution is so incredibly outstanding. I don't know if everybody here realizes, because it's hard to contrast it to other institutions that seem to prop themselves up as saying that they're the best, but remarkable institution and remarkable job. It feels great to have reached this day, and actually, it's quite striking how quickly we got to where we are. I'm grateful, obviously, to Candace, but also to the governor, as well as the Empire State Development Fund, that especially Maria Mitchell, who helped us engineer the state funding for to help make Roswell an absolutely visionary world-class cancer center.
I started working on these cell therapies when they indeed did seem like science fiction, and you have no idea how many grants I wrote where the critiques came back saying this is never going to work. Conceptually, we always kind of thought it would, and back when I first started working at Sloan Kettering on this technology, there might have been a handful of groups throughout the world that were working on this. We just recently got back from the American Society of Hematology meeting, where the entire exhibit hall was all about CAR T cells. It's been a very bizarre journey for me. It was an incredible honor to be part of those initial clinical trials over the last 20 years that led to FDA approval. And today there are tens of thousands of patients who receive CAR T cell therapy and are grateful for it. And we have a great example here today. Very humbling to see people that benefited from the work that we did. Um, the treatment right now is fundamentally focused on blood cancers, which is very important. I'm a leukemia doctor. But the real challenge is to be able to apply this technology to much more common cancers, and it's a bit more complicated with solid tumors, which are more common. But that's what Candace and that's what Roswell has committed to doing. To get to that place, we needed to have a larger GMP facility. Um, I recall that initially the plan was, I think, 6 or 7 rooms, and the our facilities folks, who are phenomenal, by the way, I just want to shout out to them, showed me the blueprints, and then they asked me, well, and then I asked them, I said, what if we just did the entire floor? How many rooms could we fit in then? And they came back and said 14, and I said, all right, well, why don't we just do that? And somehow magically, I was kind of kidding, somehow magically, we wound up with an additional 14 plus the 6 that we already had when I got here. And it really is it's quite incredible. 3.5 years after I got here, we now have the largest GMP facility, not in New York State, but in the entire country. And I'm still waiting for Chris to fact check this. I think maybe for an academic center in the entire world, which gives us a lot of responsibility, but a lot of opportunity to test these CAR T cell approaches for our patients here in Western New York, in the state of New York. And as I pointed out as was pointed out to me when I got here, for Roswell Park to become truly a global destination for this technology. I would point out also, 3.5 years is an awfully short period of time in academia. I don't think that this could have been done at any other institution in anything, if at all, in anything less than 10. Really kudos to the support that Candace and the institution has for our patients here in Western New York and the fight for cancer. So I am humbled by the opportunity that lies ahead, and I'm grateful for the support, not just of Dr. Johnson and Roswell Park in New York State, but also for the Roswell Park Alliance Foundation, who kind of helped get me here to begin with. And so also a very critical and wonderful group of people. In concert with building this facility, we brought in a lot of clinical leads, as Candace alluded to, Doctors Davila, Betts, Peter Maslach, Dr. Holton, Mark Fertini most recently. This is truly an all-star team that we brought together here, and we did it in a very short period of time. And everyone else outside of Western New York is taking notice. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Christopher Choi, who is ranks amongst those that we were able to bring here from industry. And if this works, I'll take the credit. If not, there's your first victim. Chris, thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you to Governor Hochul and Drs. Johnson and Dr. Brengens and all of you for being here today. It's an honor to stand alongside such incredible leaders and supporters as we celebrate this grand opening of the Roswell Park GMP engineering and manufacturing facility that we call GEM. So you've heard this term GMP several times. So what does that mean? It stands for, it's an acronym for Good Manufacturing Practices. And it means that we meet FDA standards for manufacturing cell therapy products, positioning the Roswell Park team to be a multifaceted resource for patients, care teams, researchers, and industry partners. This is more than a clean room facility, as Dr. Brent just mentioned. This is the largest academic GMP facility in the country, and we think in the world. And it's hard to fact check that, by the way, but we are doing it every day. And so this is really the initial stages to support discovery. So when you have an idea and you want to take it into clinic, we call that ideation to first human. And so this allows us to have all of these capabilities at one site. And so good manufacturing practices is what we need to be able to do that. And that's what our facility does. It's a key piece of Roswell Park's vision, advancing the fight against cancer and other diseases, not only in New York, but really across the globe. With this state-of-the-art infrastructure, we are a resource for researchers both inside Roswell Park and outside, as well as industry partners. This facility allows us to not only run studies, but to track innovations developed externally. And we have partnerships with other biotech companies, as well as founded by Nobel Prize winners, that we're currently bringing those technology here to Roswell Park. We're really building an ecosystem that drives scientific advancement and economic development for the region while giving patients access to cutting-edge treatments. We've already seen this facility is helping us recruit, as Dr. Brent just mentioned, the best and the brightest. And while I was in industry, I actually had the good fortune to work with several of these folks that we were able to bring here to Roswell Park. So there's actually Dr. Betts and I worked together. And this is during COVID, and I actually never met him in person until I came here. And our offices are now right next to each other. So not only here with the GEM, we're supporting world-class research, but also training the next generation of experts who will continue to lead this field forward and drive our progress against cancer. This is an extraordinary milestone, but it's only the beginning. With the GEM facility, we're accelerating the timelines from discovery to patient care, strengthening our ability to make a real difference in people's lives. And as you mentioned, it's really about being with your family. How many grandchildren can be with their grandparents? It's a testament to what's possible when we combine innovation, investment, and collaboration. And when you think about the vision and the grandness of that to do this, it really was Dr. Brengens and Dr. Johnson who had this idea and courage to execute. So thank you to both of them. Together, we're shaping a future where the most advanced therapies are within reach, and those who need them most it's available to those who need them most. Thank you so much.
Lots of papers up here. Yeah. So, thanks, everybody. I'd like to acknowledge, they've already been brought out, but the contributors, Dr. Brenchens, Dr. Davila, Dr. Troy, Dr. Betts, Holtham, the whole facilities team. This isn't like building a couple rooms on your house. This is a very, very complicated facility because everything has to be controlled, every little thing. And so we also acknowledge the appreciation and work of Labella Design and art companies on this project. The Simonellis, thank you so much, as always. They've been there for us thick and thin. And then acknowledge the critical support of the Roswell Park Alliance Foundation, who committed $20 million to this project for this life-saving treatment, investigation, and promise for the future. With us today, our the chairman of the foundation board, Dr. You can be a doctor, Ross Eckert, emeritus Ross Eckert, and several other members of the board and members of fundraising events, our state ride. I think I saw Terry here somewhere. He was here. Uh, he's in the back. There he is. Maria, love you. And the ride for Roswell. I don't know if Mitch is here, but these are seminal events. They help to raise so many funds for such needed things. The 11-day power play, which funds Dr. Brenton's lab. We have so much in our state, in our city, and elected officials, and each one is a staunch ambassador for us. You don't have to worry about getting support for our Western New York delegation because um, they're just always with us, always, 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 every single one of you, and I thank you so much. But I'd like to bring up a couple of those folks to say a few words. Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes. She's very special to me.
It's my pleasure, and it's great to be seen, particularly a day after a great Bills game. I have to throw that in because I'm a lifelong Bills fan. I want to give God all the glory, and I just want to say I really love you all so, so much. You have no idea how giant this is. Not just the health of our people in Western New York across this country, but the economy of Western New York and the benefits that it's going to bring to children that we don't even know they haven't been born yet. This is amazing. So I certainly want to thank the governor and Dr. Johnson. Great things come out of Buffalo. I spent a lot of time in our delegation. As you know, we're representative government, so most of it is downstate. We're not from Western New York, so I spent a lot of time defending Buffalo, my beloved Buffalo. A lot of great things come out of Buffalo. And when people really start paying attention, we're going to need some more space because they're all going to want to be here. So I'm really proud of Roswell. I'm proud of New York State. And I'm so excited about this new development. I pray to God that it will benefit everyone who needs it. And I also pray to God that I never have to need it. And I'm grateful if I don't, but I'm glad that Roswell is here if I ever do. And so I do want to honor all of you. I think all of my colleagues who are here with us today. You all know that every now and then in the world of politics, there's bickering, there's back and forth about things, but not about healthcare. This is not a partisan issue. This is an issue that impacts everybody's family and everybody's life. And all of us want the same thing, the best. Well, Roswell has that to offer, and I'm honored to have them located in the 141st district. Thank you.
She's the best. Yeah, she really is. We're fortunate to have you. That's for sure. Senator Sean Ryan couldn't be with us. He's a little bit under the weather, but we have Senator Patrick Gallivan. Please, would you like to come up and say a word? We love you too.
Well, good morning, everybody. I am thrilled to be a part of this today. It really is incredible, the things that Roswell has done over the years, and the fact that Roswell is something that brings the community together because of the good work that it has done. It's been repeated time and time again that cancer touches everybody in every family. Talk about the irony. My wife is getting treated today. Which makes me grateful that we have these advances and we have the people that have been smart enough to develop these different treatments that would not have been available for my wife 5 years ago. But it is now, and because of that, we have light at the end of our tunnel, and we have been for many, many years, and we will continue to be champions for Roswell. The majority leader talked about this delegation coming together for healthcare, coming together for Roswell, and it's repeated time and time again. It's not Democrat or it's Republican, and everybody ought to be proud in here today that you're a part of it. I know I am. Thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.
And then I want to call up the Buffalo Mayor, Chris Scanlon. He joined me in our Tree of Hopes celebration, which was Friday night. It was beautiful. It was freezing cold, but warmed our hearts. Majority Leader was there with her grandbaby, so cute. And, Leah Pope was there. It was a wonderful evening. So thank you for coming, Buffalo Mayor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today's a monumental day for Buffalo and for New York State. As we celebrate the opening of New York's first and quite possibly the world's, as you're researching, uh, therapy hub here at Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. I want to thank Governor Hochul for her unwavering commitment to advancing healthcare innovation and for her continued commitment in the city of Buffalo and our future. I want to thank Dr. Johnson and everyone else here at Roswell for pulling this together and everything you do on a daily basis, not just to impact lives, but to save lives. Thank you for everything you're doing. As has been mentioned by several people, you don't have to go very far to find families who are impacted by cancer, either directly or indirectly. So thank you for everything you're doing on a daily basis. This $98 million facility will bolster our reputation as a leader in cutting-edge medical research and also solidify Buffalo's reputation as a hub for groundbreaking innovation in life sciences. But this expansion at Roswell is more than just a building, obviously. It's a beacon of hope for families impacted by cancer and other life-threatening illnesses. This innovation hub positions Buffalo at the forefront of the rapidly growing cell and gene therapy industry, signaling our next generation cancer treatment. And it will attract life science companies, create new jobs, and strengthen our local economy well into the future. Through the visionary leadership of Governor Hochul and partnerships with institutions like Roswell Park, Buffalo is poised to remain a leader in research. Roswell Park has long been a cornerstone of this community, pioneering advances in cancer research and treatment. With this state-of-the-art facility, its talented will continue to do so and redefine what is possible in the fight against cancer and other threatening illnesses, and provide impact on people not just locally, but across the globe. Today, we take another step forward in making Buffalo a city of innovation, of resilience, and of opportunity. Buffalo is proud to play a pivotal role in New York State's vision to lead in the cell and gene therapy sector. The work being done here will, as I mentioned, will not just benefit Buffalonians, but also patients worldwide. And to Chris and Karen, I congratulate you on ringing the bell, as well as the soon-to-be addition to your family. I thank everyone for being here today, and I wish you nothing but the best in the holiday season. Thank you.
So just that really ends our program. To bring it back to sort of where we are. This is really about you, Chris. It's all about the patient. You're the star here. Well, but we can't. That's why we do everything that we do is for our patients. So thank you so much. Not easy to stand up here, and wow, we're so glad that you're here. And I'm happy to take any questions from the media. We have tours of the facility that will follow in the Cancer Cell Center. And let me just tell you, these tours won't be available as time goes on because once the facility is open, I mean, you can't really, the public can't enter unless you totally, you know, it could happen, but I don't think you want to go through that. So anyway, happy to take questions. Dr. Brenchens is here as well, Dr. Choi. Well, the numbers, would you like to, I think you have more of the numbers. I mean, this facility is, there's technicians that are in each room. You have he can give you the detailed numbers.
Yes, part of the incentive proposal, we're ramping up to hire 61 new employees to operate the facility. But as we get new therapies and as we develop new technologies, that number can rapidly increase. So as Dr. Brengens mentioned, it's really dependent upon us to make it happen and to make these therapies and get that out there. So at a minimum 61, but I think at a maximum it's really based on our success.
Thank you. If you'll build it, they'll come. They're coming. And the beauty of this is that industry studies, they're going to use our facility and pay us. So the funds that are generated from some of those industry studies will help to fund the investigator-initiated studies that these brilliant minds are going to perform. So that's the beauty of this. Okay, thank you so much for coming, everyone. And where should we go for tours? What do you have to do? Is somebody with a sign? Back in the back. Tours are in the back.
First group is going to be smaller. With you.
Okay.